Hey channel, welcome back to another weekend vlog with Robert White Moto. Now clearly we are not on the bike today. We are not even outside because this morning we had the mother of all storms roll through here. Wow, some incredible wind, constant lightning, flooding, just wow, really crazy storms. But that's okay because it gives me an opportunity to talk to you guys about something I've been teasing on for a while now. As you know, my struggle with audio on the bike and these vlogs is a constant fight. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not so great, and I want to try a couple of different things. A lot of times it's easier for me to understand something if I see it in pictures, so I have created a couple of graphs on my computer screen here that I'm going to share in a minute and kind of show you where I am today and where I'm going to be hopefully tomorrow and what I'm trying to achieve from that setup. Now, it's all related to my certain circumstance. You might have different circumstances. I'll give you an example. When I have a passenger on the back, usually my son, it's not important for him to hear music or directions or anything from the bike or my phone. All I need him to hear is me, helmet-to-helmet communication. But a lot of people who ride with a passenger like full communication, not just helmet-to-helmet voice, but the passenger hears the music, hears any directions coming through, all of that good stuff. That's not my situation. So this is tailored a little bit to me, but I hope it will help you guys if you are struggling with audio, try to figure things out a little bit. Okay, so in that light, I went out and purchased a device. I've shown it to you a little earlier, but it is this, the Maedhawk communicator. And a lot of people confuse this device, the Maedhawk, with a device I also use, which is a quad lock or Carlin kit wireless CarPlay adapter. They are not the same thing. They do different things. So let me explain. We'll start with the Carlin kit, or in my case, the quad lock wireless CarPlay adapter. On my bike in particular, the 2023 and I think maybe even 2024 models and older, you have to have your phone hardwired into the bike in order for Apple CarPlay to make its way through your screen on the bike, your dashboard on the bike. This device effectively connects to the bike so that you don't have to hardwire connect your phone to the bike. You connect your phone to this via Bluetooth, and the bike thinks that your phone is connected through a hard wire, and therefore you can have Apple CarPlay show up on your dashboard. This is a wireless Apple CarPlay Android Auto adapter. Makes a wireless connection to your phone. That is its purpose. That is different than the Maedhawk. The Maedhawk acts like a communication device, like my Sena 60S. Another requirement for Apple CarPlay is that your helmet needs to be connected. How many times have we ever started up our bike and it says Apple CarPlay cannot display because there is no connected headset? So we're always having to make sure that our headset is connected to the bike before Apple CarPlay will come up. This device takes the place of your communication device for purposes only of Apple CarPlay. It tricks the bike into thinking it is connected to a helmet. It thinks this is a helmet. It's not. But it allows you then to not have your helmet connected to the bike, but your helmet can be connected to other things, relieving that connection to the bike, eliminating a Bluetooth piece, and that will become important, I think. So That's the difference. This thinks it's a phone. This thinks it's a communication system, a helmet comp, a Cena 60S, whatever. These are two different things. They serve two different purposes. All right, so let me go to my screen and try to show you guys what I am talking about here, okay? So now we're at our screen. All right, this is a graphical representation of my setup today. There are a lot of things in play here. You can see that I have the Cena 60S, I have the Goldwing, I have my iPhone, I have the X5 camera, I have the quad lock device, and then on occasion I have other riders on their motorcycle, like a group ride or whatever. So there's a lot of things in play here. This is my setup today. All right, the lines mean something. They're color-coded. The red lines mean Apple CarPlay. The purple line means any audio coming from my phone that is not Apple CarPlay, or it might be Apple CarPlay. Any audio coming from my phone. That can be a phone call from my wife. That can be music from iTunes. It can be whatever. Audio coming from my phone is the purple line. Blue line is any non-phone audio. That's audio coming directly from the bike, okay? If you're using the Honda navigation, maybe it's instructions from Honda navigation, maybe it's AM/FM radio from the bike. I don't use that connection almost at all. I get nothing from the bike. I don't use anything from the bike. So this is not an important line for me. It might be for you, okay? The orange line is my X5 camera. We'll talk about that in just a minute. And then the green lines are for open mesh communication. Cena has a great product, Open Mesh, that allows you to seamlessly connect to other riders in your group through this open mesh. It's pretty wonderful. So let's start with Apple CarPlay. As I mentioned, Apple CarPlay needs a few things. It needs my helmet, my Cena, connected. There's the red line arrow to the Goldwing itself. So my Cena has to be connected to the Goldwing. Cena also, then my phone has to be connected to the quad lock, which is wireless, Bluetooth connection here. Quad lock is hardwired into the Goldwing. So anything happening on my phone today has to go through the quad lock, up through the Goldwing, and over to my helmet. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4 devices before I get that audio. No wonder that a phone call from my wife seems pretty, third world FM radio-ish, when I do it. And it's not always been that way. When I had my VTX 1800 without all this tech, all I had was a communication system and my phone. And they were the only two things connected, and the phone calls and the music were coming through crystal clear, wonderfully. One connection. Here I've got 4 things connected, okay? I'm hoping to solve a little bit of that. That's one of my primary reasons for what I'm going to tell you today. So anyway, that is any audio coming from my phone. Now let's move on to any audio from the bike. That's simple. It's from the Goldwing, Bluetoothing directly to my Cena because those two are connected. Like I said, I don't use audio from the bike, so not important to me. The X5 Motovlog audio. That is a Bluetooth connection from the Cena to the X5, and the X5 does a wonderful job of remembering that connection, and anytime you turn both the helmet and the camera on, they connect automatically now. But the order of connection is important. I'm starting to find out. I'm starting to realize I think this is a thing. I don't know for sure, but I think it's a thing. I have to connect my helmet to the X5 first. That is the primary, the number one Bluetooth connection. Then I turn on my bike and the Cena connects to the bike. Secondarily, that is the second Bluetooth connection. If for any reason those two reverse and I connect to the bike first and then connect to my X5, it will still do it. But that's when I get that choppy sort of audio that you guys heard on the first part of my video from last week. I was having trouble getting it all to come up, and when it finally did, I think my connection to the bike was first, connection to the camera was second. That's why you get that audio that's, I think, kind of crappy. I see that frequently, so I think it's a thing. So it matters which Bluetooth connection happens first. Okay, now let's jump over to what I want to see future state, what I'm trying to achieve here. So let's take a look at the graph. As you can see, there's a couple other things that I've thrown in here. The Goldwing speakers have always been there, but now that non-audio from the bike, like an FM radio from the bike or turn-by-turn instructions from the Honda navigation, that's going to come through the speakers. I don't use them, not important to me, so they don't need to go anymore directly to my Sena. All right. And then you have the Maedhawk device, which I told you I just bought. Let's talk about Apple CarPlay. All right. The phone has to be connected to the bike for Apple CarPlay to work, and I'm still going to use the quad lock to do that. It's going to connect through the quad lock and up to the Goldwing. That's how it's going to show up wirelessly on my dashboard. Now, you guys with a 25 or a 26 Goldwing, it has now become wireless CarPlay. And hear me when I say this. What does that wireless CarPlay do for you? You don't have to have a quad lock or a Carlin kit to mimic a connection, because the wireless aspect, the quad lock, if you will, is built into the bike now. So the wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is built into the bike if you have a 25 or a 26 year model, okay? I have before, so I still need this quad lock. So that's going to be there. It's going to connect up to the Goldwing, all right? The Maedhawk takes the place of my Sena to Goldwing connection. I'm not going to need that, the Sena to Goldwing connection. I'm not going to need that. It's going to be important in a minute. I'll tell you why. The Maedhawk is going to act like my Sena and connect to the Goldwing. That's important because the Goldwing requires a connection to an audio device in order for that wireless Apple CarPlay to come up. Come on, Honda, do better. So it's going to pretend to be a helmet connected to the Goldwing, and I expect through that red line connection for the Apple CarPlay to then come up on my dashboard just fine. We'll see. We'll test that out. What that does is it severs the connection from the Goldwing to the Sena. I don't have to have that Bluetooth connection. That's one more Bluetooth connection down, okay? Let's talk about any audio from the phone. I can now connect my phone directly to my headset. You know, the headset has phone pairing 1, second phone pairing, device pairing. You know, the X5 is connected to my headset through device pairing. But I can now, through the phone pairing, connect my phone directly to the Sena. And guess what? Now I'm back like I was on the VTX. I've got my phone directly connected to my comm device, and it should be crystal clear when my wife calls me or when I play my Apple iTunes, okay? Crystal clear. That should improve greatly. That's a big thing here, what I'm trying to achieve, all right? We talked about non-phone bike audio, not important to me. The moto vlogging aspect remains the same. The Sena has to be connected to the X5, but it now will not compete with the connection of the helmet to the bike. That Bluetooth is gone. It will no longer compete with that, which I think will make audio on my moto vlogs always crystal clear. I won't have that fight of Bluetooth anymore. We'll see, okay? And then Open Mesh is going to operate the same. Still through Open Mesh with Sena riders and being captured, all of us. You heard on my last video how it was capturing me and Tom with Tom's GoldWingAdventures. Go check out his channel. Hey, Tom. It recorded our conversations between each other on Open Mesh all the way through to the X5, so you heard us both. And I think anybody on Open Mesh, it would have recorded 5 of us if all 5 of us were on Open Mesh. I believe it would have done that. How cool is that? Anyway, that's what I'm trying to do. That's where I'm trying to go. I'm trying to get a little clearer conversation between my phone and my helmet, whether that's phone calls or music. I miss that. I don't do it today. My wife calls. I try to hit the button to answer the call. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, because the comm systems don't know who it's listening to. Is it listening to the Goldwing, or is it listening to the phone? It just seems to be a mess. And when it does connect, it's third world FM radio connection, so hoping to clarify that by connecting directly iPhone to my Sena. I'm looking forward to that. Now here's a problem I might run into. My bike has 2 USB-A connections, one in the glove box, which today my quad lock is connected to, and then one in the saddlebag. But the one in the saddlebag is power only. It's not connected to the bike in that way like the one in the glove box is. In other words, if I was to plug this quad lock into the one in the saddlebag, it wouldn't work. That one in the saddlebag provides power only. Here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping the Maedhawk works Bluetooth wise and doesn't need that one. I'm hoping I can put this one in the saddlebag and all the device needs is the power, and then it acts like a helmet. If it needs to connect to the bike to act like a helmet, then this one's going to have to go in the glove box up front. And if that's the case, then I'm going to have to piggyback these two things. Plug the Maedhawk in first, but it has a pass-through port. It's a male, female, either side of it, okay? And then plug this into the Maedhawk and hope that doesn't interfere with anything. But we're going to try that out. We're going to test it to see. Like I said, I can't test it today. It's a complete washout today. But I hope this video has cleared up a few things for you, what I'm trying to do. Let me stop this screen record because you don't need to see it anymore. But I hope it's cleared up a few things for you guys, like the difference between the Maedhawk and the quad lock or the Carlin kit. They do 2 separate things, okay? And maybe this applies to what you're trying to achieve. Maybe it doesn't, but I hope it helped you a little bit. There is another manufacturer of a device similar to the Maedhawk that has reached out to me and would like me to test and review his product. So I'm getting that in the mail soon, and when I get that, I will test it just like as if it's the Maedhawk. I'll plug it in the same way, see how it works. Maybe it's a better option for us, maybe not. I don't know. More on that later. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. I appreciate you tuning in and sticking with me this long. And so we'll talk again soon. Until then, ride safe and God bless.